Charlucci right now, man, supporting Puff, heavy in attendance. You already know Puff for 30 plus years. We can go into the pluses on it. You know, today we had court today, right? It's OOTAONGO. We live with this brother. We had court today. You know, it's kind of wrapped up today, but they look like they're going to finalize jury selection, I guess, on Monday.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on what's going on so far? So far, what's your thoughts?
It's a process. You know, we gotta stay prayed up and trust the process. You know what I'm saying? So those are my thoughts, man. Like, you know, I don't know what's in everybody else's head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, you know, it's a lot of people, but, you know, you a person that actually know Puff. You actually got deep connections with this brother. You know, everybody want to be down. You know what I'm saying? Like Brandy or something, they want to be down. Right. But you actually know this brother, so your support comes from a deeper rooted place. You know what I'm saying? Right. Can you explain to the people how well you know Puff?
I can't get into how well I know.
I'm gonna say how many years? Let's say how many years?
About 37, 38.
38 years. Yeah. I think that's well enough to know somebody.
Absolutely.
You know, so you got a chance to see Puff today in the courtroom. So how was Puff looking today?
You know, he was looking focused, a little anxious, ready to get this thing on the road, you know what I mean? So we can get this thing behind us.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, you know, the family, everybody in attendance, in full support, 1,000%. Everything there.
1,000%.
And the judge actually seems like a really, really smart guy. Cause you know, sometimes, you know, you go through, you hear trials and stuff, and you be like, I don't know about this judge. This judge actually seems like a really, really smart guy, though.
Oh, no, this judge is a fair judge. He's a smart judge. And I don't think the jury, I don't think the jury, he gave the jury clear and precise information and direction. And I just think that they're going to follow through what he says, because he's a nice guy, but he don't like he's the one to play with.
Nah, I don't think he is. I don't think
he's a no-nonsense judge. He's a fair judge, but also a no-nonsense judge. I like this judge. Just very, very on point.
It's true, man. But, you know, also, like I said, because we touched on it before, though, you know, living in this age of social media and these platforms where people take other people's thoughts, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, sometimes the media and the social media could get very, very loud, you know what I'm saying? And people could just agree with people saying someone's guilty or someone's not guilty. What do you say to people on social media that want to maybe follow the naysayers or the say-sayers?
Well, social media is not a real place. Let's start there, right? Okay. And I just feel that, especially with YouTube, I just think they need to monitor that a little more, right? Because you can put some up there crazy, ruin somebody's life just with a rumor. There's a difference, there's a thin line, not even a thin line. There's a line between being a journalist or being a gossipist, right? Yeah. You got people that gossip and run and make rumors, but then you have an actual journalist that asks the real questions and get the real facts. Yeah. That's not facts on YouTube.
It's not.
That's not facts. Because everybody's getting monetized, everybody getting paid for a click. So they'll put something crazy up there about somebody, not knowing they're ruining this person's life and this person's reputation, right? Just to maintain, just to get money. That person's life is ruined. You'd have made, what, 5,000, 2,500, whatever it is, but that person's life and his reputation is ruined because what's on the internet never goes away. It lives on the internet forever. But people now think like that, but if YouTube don't get to the bottom of that, there's gonna be a lot of people out here going through stuff like this because of somebody put something on the internet and it's on there. Because you got 20 million clicks putting up something that's not true. There's no facts on it. And for everybody out there, YouTube and the internet is a fake place. It's not real.
I agree, man. I don't believe it's a real place as well, man. I think people get reality and virtual reality mixed up and confused, man. I think they get it confused, man. But what's your last thoughts that you want to leave the people with? Anything related to this trial, related to anything around this? What do you say to the people?
All right. Don't rush the judge, right? The man is presumed innocent until proven guilty. But in this way, he's been proven guilty before he's proven innocent. So, and that comes, and like, again, that comes from people not supporting and spreading the falsehood instead of being like, you know what, let's see what happens. That's what you do as a human. You sit back and you see and you balance the facts. You balance the truth. Don't just jump on the crazy rumors or the things you heard. Let's go by what you see. They got to show that.
That's a fact, man. I agree with you totally, brother. I agree with you totally. So like you said, though, right? OOTAONGO, right? We live, right?
Yeah.
So you've been around the thing since he was arrested, since the very beginning then?
Yes.
So how was that like? Can you, just a quick, how was that just to see that process, like the beginning of this?
Well, I'm from New York.
Okay.
Right? I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, grew up in Harlem.
Okay.
But seeing somebody getting arrested is not a big deal.
Yeah.
But the way they did it,
Yeah.
to me, was a big deal. I mean, he was here to tend himself in, you know what I'm saying, and to try to embarrass him like that, to me, was unfair. He didn't have to do it. We was at a hotel, we was chilling. There was no need for that. He wasn't running nowhere. He came here to face the music.
Yeah.
To face whatever charges they were trying to put on him. He came here to see what it was.
Yeah.
He ain't never ran from nothing.
I see that.
You know what I'm saying? He ran for New York though, but he never ran from nothing.
Okay. So also in court today, they were saying like the defense was trying to make some sides to saying like maybe the victims has a propensity to violence, and then the prosecutors and everybody was speaking on their side. And so everything with the actual jurors as well will be finalized on Monday. But I think so far they made a couple of strides. The defense, they got some potential victims or witnesses to drop out of the case so far.
Right.
So it's not as much of the onslaught as it was from the very, very beginning.
Right.
So how do you feel the standings is now? How he's looking now? Because at first it was like a barrage. It was so many claims. It was all these things, and they've dwindled it down though. They've dwindled it down a little bit though.
All right. So like with anything, when everybody will do a whole bunch of stuff, but when it's time to face the piper, when it's time to actually show up and present your falsehood, if you're lying, right? Yeah. You got to actually come in with evidence. True. Right. So if you come and you don't have the evidence, you're usually going to be like, you know what, I'm out of here. I ain't sticking around for this because you're going to get caught in your lie. Yeah, you ain't got nothing to back it. Yeah. So I'm just on the belief that most people that don't do certain things are because they're not solid on their end. And you gotta be solid when you come in here. You gotta be, man. When you come in this building. This building right here? Yeah. No, you gotta be solid. Come in here, you better be solid. You better be solid coming in that building. Be solid. You know what I mean? Real talk, man. I appreciate you, though, brother. I appreciate your time, King. Kind and showing my brother love. I appreciate you, brother. Throw your L's up, right? I appreciate you, brother, man. Nothing but love for you, brother.